right, how's everybody doing this morning? This is Rich Harshaw, and I am with Monopolize Your Marketplace, here today to discuss what I consider to be the most important marketing principle of all of them. So if you look at anything else you can think of, any other topic you could possibly want to cover, from lead generation to internet marketing to home shows to sales to scripting to anything else, all of it begins with what we're going to be talking about today, which is the topic of identity. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start the presentation. Make sure that everything is working good from a technology standpoint. I believe it is. Just give you a brief, pardon me, overview of who Monopolize Your Marketplace is and what kind of credentials we have, so that you can have a little bit of confidence in what you're going to hear today. My name is Rich Harshaw, like I stated before. I'm the founder, author, and CEO of Monopolize Your Marketplace. Started this company in 1994 as a general marketing consultant. What that means is that I worked with all kinds of companies, not just remodelers, but any kind of company you can think of. For several years, worked with manufacturers and service companies, did work with several home improvement remodeling companies, worked with the largest roofing company in the state of Texas back in the mid to late 90s as a $50 million roofing company. Learned a lot of things that have been integrated into what we'll be learning today. But for the first several years of the business was a general marketing consultant. I've done a lot of training. I do webinars like this anywhere from 5 to 10 times per month. I also do a lot of live training, whether it be speaking, keynotes. We have training sessions that last up to 5 days. So we've done a lot of training over the years and worked with lots of different companies. The idea here is to let you know that I've seen a lot of things. Everything we're going to talk about today is based on experience. It's not some kind of hypothesis that I thought up and who knows, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. This is stuff that has consistently been essential for as long as I've been doing this, okay? We started specializing with remodeling companies in 2005. About 9 years ago now, I got a call from a guy named Tim Mush, who you'll hear from a little bit later on this webinar, from his company called Market Sharp. He invited me to do what they called in those days a teleconference. This is essentially a webinar, but in those days we called them teleconferences with remodelers. And I got involved in this industry when I found out that there just really weren't that many remodeling marketing experts in the industry. So I got involved, and it's been a great experience in the last 9 years working almost exclusively with remodeling companies, and then in the last 2 to 3 years working only and exclusively with remodeling companies. We introduced a program in 2007 called MYM Live and MYM Insider. These are training programs where we conducted training with our customers, typically anywhere from about 5 to 6 webinars per month, recorded and put on our website. And we found that our customers really like that training. However, we also found out that it's fairly difficult to take what you learn on a webinar and in a training environment and actually make it something that you can put into your business and work, especially when you're talking about marketing. So a couple of years ago, I got a little bit frustrated with my clients' lack of ability to convert what they were learning in webinars into actual real-world workable marketing stuff. And they kept coming to me saying, hey, can you build a website for me? And can you create these ads for me? And can you do these marketing services for me? And before that, we were mostly a training company, and we would tell them, well, you know, go find somebody to do that stuff for you. And the results were dismal. They just couldn't make it work. So in 2012, we started doing fulfillment services where we actually do these types of services for our clients, and that's what we do today. We are still a training company. We do a lot of training, like I mentioned, but we're a marketing fulfillment services company in the home improvement industry. We work with kitchen and bath remodelers, whole house remodelers. We also do a lot of work with exterior remodelers, whether it be windows, siding, sunrooms, decks, roofing, metal roofing, gutter protection, all of the above. We work with those kinds of companies. So that just gives you a feel for who we are and what we do. And like I said, everything that we're going to talk about in this webinar is born from real experience with real companies. We've got just a little bit over 100 clients right now that we work with web services, SEO, ad writing, radio and TV campaign. Well, let's get into the topic today, which is identity. And as we get started, I just want to impress on you that the rules have changed in remodeling over the last several years. And this is pretty recent stuff. Two things happened in 2007 that really drastically, in my opinion, and probably in your opinion too, I don't know, stick with me and see what you think, really changed the rules of marketing for lots of different kinds of companies, but for sure for remodeling companies. The first one was the recession. You know, people just got really overcautious with their money. Now, it's loosened up a little bit in the last couple of years, and I wrote a blog posting at the beginning of this month predicting that people would get a little bit looser with their money as 2014 progressed, and I believe that's true. But, you know, there is some psychic damage there where people say, you know, I had money and then it was gone, or I was uncertain, was I going to keep my job? And when people are uncertain about their money, they tend to not spend it. Even if they have it, they tend to not spend it. And this, of course, affects all kinds of things when it comes to remodeling, particularly with, you know, the larger ticket items. So this was one thing that happened. People want to really scrutinize contractors before they hire them. They're not just going to hand out the money willy-nilly to anybody that says, hey, you know, I've got a hammer and a truck. So there's a scrutinization process that's going to happen, and this plays heavily into this concept of identity that we'll get to in just a second. The second thing was the iPhone was invented. This was in 2007. Both of these things were in 2007, and the iPhone was really a dramatic change in the way marketing happened. And here's why. Because now people have instant access to anything via the internet. It's right there in their pocket, and it's a little bit hard to remember before smartphones and back when you had a BlackBerry and a flip phone and all that kind of stuff, before there was anything called an iPad. This was also about the same time when people started getting wireless internet in their home. So before that, people had internet, but it wasn't wireless. It wasn't on their laptop as they were sitting on the couch or laying in bed. It was tethered to their desk. And in 2007, that all started to change. When people get an idea about anything now, they just look it up. By the time your ad runs, they've already Googled it. So the guy's sitting there on his couch and he thinks, man, I need to fix my roof. In 2006 or 5, that guy never did anything about it. He waited a couple of days or weeks until your ad ran. He saw it. It reminded him that, man, I need to fix my roof, and he called. Now, not so much. So direct response advertising have decreased significantly. So let me give you an example. Because people have easier instant access to information, when you placed an ad, we're going back to 2004, 5, 6, something like that. If you placed an ad, let's just say hypothetically, 10 people would call. Now you place the same ad, and here's what happens. Now, obviously, this is just an illustration. It's not going to be the same every single time, but it gives you a pretty good idea. 4 people are going to get an idea, search online before they ever see your ad. They're going to look it up on their phone or their laptop or their tablet computer, and your only chance to reach that person is via search marketing, okay? Now, there's going to be another 2 people that see your ad and call, just like in the olden days, but there's going to be 4 people that see your ad and look you up online to learn more about you before they call. Now, again, these are people that before would have just called, but now they're going to see your ad and they're going to say, huh, let me think about this for a minute, and they're going to look you up. And if they like what they see, they might call you. If they don't like what they see, you might not get that call. So 3 of those, in my experience, aren't going to convert into a call, and they have what's called conversionability issues. That means that people didn't really like what they found on your website, and that's really what we're going to try to fix today. Not just websites, but websites being an important part of your entire marketing campaign. One of them does call and becomes a lead, and now the net result is you get 2 or 3 calls instead of 10. This is where your leads have gone that you used to get when you placed your ad. They're still out there. It's not like there's fewer people in the marketplace buying. They're just coming to you via different means. And if you run the same marketing program expecting the same results that you did in 2005 and 2006, you're hosed, man. It's not going to work. And you say, well, I am doing it. It is working. Well, number 1, it's not working as well. And number 2, I promise you, every single day that passes, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So the ramifications of this from a marketing standpoint are significant and many. First of all, you can't count on direct response advertising anymore. You just can't. I'm not saying it doesn't work and it won't work and you can't do it. I'm saying it's less likely to work than it used to be. Advertising now is a lot more about building relationships, not just making the phone ring right now. Obviously, if we can make the phone ring right now, that's good. but advertising is different now. You can't just only rely on direct response marketing. Internet marketing is not optional anymore. If you're not any good at internet marketing, if you say, well, you know, that we'll let the young whippersnappers figure that out, you're hosed. You got to get on top of this right now. Your website has to just convert. It can't just look nice. And a big part of what we're going to talk about today is conversion, getting people to understand who you are, why you're different, why you're better, and why they should do business with you instead of anybody else. Identity, okay? The name of the game now is differentiation. It's always been the name of the game, but now it's triple important. I want you to understand exactly why. Because before, when the guy got the idea to fix his roof or remodel his kitchen or get a new window, and he was sitting there and he saw your ad, he was very likely to call the company whose ad he saw. And he was less likely to shop it as intensely. Now, he might look for another ad, and he might look for another ad, and he might make it over his computer and do some search. But now it's a sure thing. You've got to stand out from the crowd. You can't just be the company that got lucky because your ad happened to run at the right time. To differentiate, you have to forge an identity, okay? Now, here's the definition of identity. This is mission critical. If you're taking notes, which you should be, write this down, write it down right now, okay? Words, phrases, and images that are articulated with power, precision, and passion, instantly and definitively communicate who you are, how you're different and better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. Now, let's break this down and look at it from several different angles for just a minute here. Number one, power, precision, and passion. I'm going to throw this out there right now. Your current marketing, whether it be your brochure, your website, your advertisements, your home show booth, it does not communicate with power, precision, and passion. If you think I'm wrong, well, just stick around. You'll see what I mean. I'll give you a ton of examples of this as we go through this. That instantly and definitively, first of all, instantly, right away, instantly, definitively, without question, communicate who you are, how you're different and better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. Look, here's how this works. People are always asking this question in their mind, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, which is, who should I hire to do this job? I need new windows. Who should I get to do it? I need a new roof. Who should I get to do it? I need to remodel my kitchen. Who should I get to do it? And they're wondering, who should I get? Because they don't know. How would they know? People don't have a remodeler on file ready to call anytime they need something. You know, if my car breaks down, I take it to the same place every time. If my air conditioner breaks down, I've got a little sticker on my thermostat that I call all the time. If I need a haircut, I've been going to the same place for the last 10 years straight every single month. It's a sure thing I'm going back, okay? Remodelers, not so much. They don't know who to call. They don't even know what the questions are to ask the person they call. And if you don't supply that information, and if you don't facilitate that decision-making process, then you, my friend, are going to lose. Well, what are you talking about? We get business. I'm talking about getting exceptional, monopolized results as opposed to ordinary situational results. You're going to get some business from the natural flow of people looking for stuff, but that's not what we're after. What we're after is grabbing a massive chunk of the business and monopolizing the marketplace. It's not a cute slogan. It's not just a little thing that we say because, that sounds funny, monopolize your marketplace. No, it's the honest to goodness truth and reality of what you're trying to accomplish. You should be outraged when your prospective clients don't choose you and they go with your competition, whether it be because of money, because of any other, whatever the reason. You should be outraged because you should feel in your heart of hearts, you should feel like you are a better value, you're a better service, you've got a better product, you've got a higher quality. You should feel outraged if somebody does business with anybody else but you, regardless of the price. And what I'm going to show you how to do is take all that passion that you have for your business. I'm going to show you how to grab it and throw it on a page, throw it on a web page, throw it on a home show, throw it in your marketing so that people can instantly, definitively tell who you are, how you're different, why you're better, why they should do business with you, what they can expect. That's what we're here to talk about today. So hopefully you got it, okay? What do you want people to know about you? Here's what I found. Most remodeling companies have certain things that they do really well. You're good at something. Now, it's different for different companies. There's no one-size-fits-all for this kind of stuff. It's got to be individually based. Every company's identity is like a fingerprint. It's unique and specific to that company. There are reasons that their customers love them. Your friends get referred to them. The key is to identify those things and articulate them in a way that is impossible to miss. Impossible to miss, okay? If a prospect can immediately tell what they can expect when doing business with you, then you lose, okay? You have to tell people what to expect. Now, let's take a look at a couple of examples here. Here's a website for a company called Curb Appeal. Enjoy the satisfaction of excellence. And now I'm going to blow this up a little bit on the screen. Here it is. Now, I'm going to go back so you can see. What I've done is I've just taken this text out of the middle of this web page, and I've just blown it up so you can read it, okay? Welcome to Curb Appeal Renovations. And what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate, is there an identity here? Welcome to Curb Appeal Renovations. Curb Appeal Renovations is a design, build, remodeling company that has been creating beautiful spaces in the areas of Southlake, Colleyville, Keller, Trophy Club, Grapevine, Flower Mound, Roanoke, North Richland Hills, Bedford, Hearst, Euless, Fort Worth, and surrounding areas since 1995. Our award-winning design, build, remodeling service includes kitchens, baths, whole home remodels, additions, universal design, and green building. Our design build process is designed to give you confidence that you're... Now, you know what this is sounding like? You remember watching Charlie Brown on the Thanksgiving or Christmas special? Remember when Charlie Brown's mother would talk to the kids, or the teacher would talk to the kids? Remember what it sounded like? Wah, 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 wah. Remember that? That's what this sounds like. It's just a bunch of garbage. It's stuff that people would expect you to say. In our definition, we call this a platitude. Platitudes are words or phrases that are drearily commonplace and predictable, that are spoken as if they were sort of profound and impactful, but in fact they're not. Everybody would expect you to say, you know, we're designed to give you confidence, enjoy the satisfaction of excellence. None of this stuff really means anything to anybody. We've got to find a way to communicate with more power, more passion, and more precision than what you're seeing right here. Here's another website that I could show you, and again, I'll bring this up. Home window installed by experts in Bridgeport, New Haven, Hartford, Danbury, and throughout Connecticut and Eastern. Whatever, perhaps your home windows aren't opening and closing as easily as you'd like, or maybe they're letting in drafts in the winter. No matter what the case is, by the way, they already know that if they're on this website looking for windows. It's called ordinary, dreary, platitudinal junk. That's what's happening here. This is a company that called me. The reason they called me is because their website is not working. It ranks very high in search, but it does not get any conversions because, well, you figure out why. It stinks. Okay, here's an ad for a bathroom company. We're obsessed with creating perfect bathrooms. High quality acrylic one-day installation. So easy to clean. No more mold. And when people look at this ad, it runs in one of those magazines that has a bunch of ads in it. You know what I'm talking about. They just look at it and they go, okay, it's a bathroom company, whatever. There's nothing unique, nothing special. There's no articulated power, precision, and passion. I can't instantly, definitively tell who they are, how they're different, why they're better, what I can expect when doing business with them. It looks like, quote, unquote, I'm doing air quotes, just another bathroom company. That, my friends, is a disaster if it's your company. Here's a home show. You walk by this home show, Lone Star Property Solutions, bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel. Are you impressed? Can you tell instantly, definitively who they are, how they're different, why you should do business with them, what you can expect when you hire them? The answer is absolutely, positively, you cannot. Okay? There's no question. It's not debatable. The answer is no. You can't. Okay? So let's talk about this principle, and this is kind of where it hinges into something that makes a big difference for your company. Confirmation bias. Here's the definition of confirmation bias. People look for evidence to support what they already believe and ignore or minimize evidence that goes against their beliefs. And I've put the picture on here of our good friend Barack Obama because, as everybody knows, you either love Barack Obama or you hate him. There's no in between. We got this big healthcare thing happening with the website, and it works or it doesn't work. And depending on who you ask, I saw a video yesterday of Bill O'Reilly had a correspondent that he sent to the Sundance Film Festival last week, and he asked people, what do you think about Obama and his health care? And they all said, it's great. Yeah, there's a couple little wrinkles in the website, but it's perfect. It's awesome. It's great. It's what we need, because that's what they believe. Now, if you go ask Bill O'Reilly what he thinks, he'll say, I think it stinks. It's a piece of junk. People look for evidence to support what they believe and ignore or minimize evidence that goes against their beliefs. Now, this is an important concept in marketing because as a marketer, you have the ability to set the beliefs of your prospects. Now, I'm going to give you an example here that's outside of the industry to help you comprehend and understand and really put to practice this principle, okay? Here's what it is. It goes back about, gosh, I think about 9 years now. my family every year, I've got 6 kids. We take a vacation. We live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we drive up to Boise, Idaho, where my in-laws live. We go up there for the 4th of July. It's great. We buy fireworks in Wyoming. It's a fun time. So we drive up there every year. I've got 6 kids, and 9 years ago, when I had 6 kids, they were a lot smaller. They range from age 9 to 20 now, but in those days, the youngest was only 6 months old, and the oldest was about 12, okay? So we're driving up there, and we get to the point of the drive where we feel like, we really need to take a stop for the night. We've, the kids are about to kill each other. You know how that goes, right? You've driven cross country with kids. So we find the exit that has all the different hotels on it. You know the exit I'm talking about? There's like 4, 5, 6 hotels, and they all congregate on one exit. So we exit this hotel, and we exit looking for a hotel. And my wife has very specific requirements for hotels. And the first and foremost thing is that it's got to be new and clean. So we're kind of looking at the hotels from the outside, and that one looks old and crusty, and that one looks like it's been there for 100 years. And there was one that stood out. It was kind of shiny and new-looking, and it was a Holiday Inn Express. So we go in, and we inquire, do you have any rooms? And they say, yeah, we do have rooms. And as we're checking in, well, actually, the first thing I always ask is, when was this hotel built? It's just a habit I have, and it was only built a couple years before. So we decided to stay there. As I'm checking in, I see a sign on the counter. Now, just imagine this with me. Close your eyes and imagine this with me for a second. We're checking in at the hotel, and on the counter next to where we're checking in, there's a little sign. It's about an 8.5 by 11 sitting in a plexiglass thing, and it says, welcome to the Holiday Inn, home of the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring the Stay Smart shower head by Kohler. And it had a big picture of this big butt-honking shower head that looked really huge, and it looked pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. It's a pretty cool-looking shower head. And I thought, okay, whatever. I think I've seen a TV commercial for this. Can't really remember. I can't really place it, but whatever. We checked into the rooms, and as we got up into the rooms, the kids started jumping between the beds and turning the TV on and all that kind of stuff that kids do. But here's what happened. Right next to the TV on the dresser, there was another sign. It said, welcome to your room at your earliest convenience. Go check out the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring the Stay Smart shower head by Kohler, and another picture of this big shower head. Now, I'm a marketing guy, so I was intrigued, just like the song of the sirens, come look at the bathroom. So I went into the bathroom, and sure enough, there was on the counter in the bathroom another sign that said, welcome to the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring, and then it had 4 bullet points. Number 1, oversized plush towels. And I looked over and I squeezed the towel, and I thought, wow, that's a big plush towel. That's pretty cool. Number 2, a bowed-out shower curtain rod, right? You know what I'm talking about, these bowed-out shower curtain rods that they have in hotels. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool because, nobody really wants to be touching somebody else's naked, so that's good. Number 3, designer toiletries. And I looked down on the counter, and there was these little bottles of shampoo and mouthwash and conditioner and lotion, and they looked really cool. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And then number 4, of course, was what? The Stay Smart shower head by Kohler. And I thought, wow, this thing must be pretty freaking awesome. And I looked back, and I can't see it because that bowed-out shower curtain rod, the shower curtain is closed. So I grab it, and I whip it open, and sure enough, there it is in all of its glorious splendor, the Stay Smart shower head by Kohler. And you want to know how I knew that's what it was? Look at your screen. Because there was a sign hanging from the dang thing, a sign hanging from the shower head telling me, here's the shower head. And you can see on there, it's got 3 different settings. It's got rejuvenating, relaxing, reinvigorating, and I couldn't help it. I shut the door, I locked it, I got out of the shower, I started taking a shower. The kids start beating on the door. My wife's like, what are you doing taking a shower? These kids are starving. We got to get them to dinner. There's a point to this story, and the point is pretty clear and simple. Here's what it is. Because Holiday Inn Express took the time to point at their shower head, not just in their advertising, but on the counter, next to the check-in, next to the television on the dresser when we did get to the room, on the counter in the bathroom, and then hanging from the dadgum shower head itself. Because they bothered to point at that shower head. Now, let's define. This shower head was good. It looked cool. It worked well. And I'm here to tell you, it's a really nice shower. Because they bothered to point at the shower head, look at this definition on your screen. People look for evidence to support what they already believe and ignore or minimize evidence that goes against their beliefs. I started to believe that this shower head was great. And you know what? It was great. Now, here's what I'm encouraging you to do, and this is the point of this entire webinar and this entire concept called identity. You've got to find in your business what your shower head is, And obviously, clearly, that's metaphorical. I'm not talking about a literal shower head. What is it that you do that's awesome, that's good, that you can point at repeatedly so that people see it, they understand it, they look at it, they like it, they believe it, and they start to believe that this is awesome because you've taken the time to point at it. That's what we've got to do. Confirmation bias will be your best friend if you utilize the tools to point at the shower head so that people know what to look for. Because here's the thing, I'm going to promise you this, 100% guarantee. If you fail to point at your various shower heads, people will not notice them, they will not give you credit for them, and they will not like whatever it is that you happen to do that's really good. It'll be a chance. They might notice it, they might not. Think about all the times you stayed at a hotel. Did you notice the shower head? The answer is you usually don't unless it's particularly bad. If the shower head is bad, if it's crusty, if it's got calcification all over it, if it has no water pressure, if it's dinky, if it's only 3 feet off the ground, then you notice it. Otherwise, it just blurs into the background. And guess what? All the stuff that you do that's good, all the stuff that makes you special, all the stuff that your customers love, if you don't point at it specifically with power, passion, and precision, people will not notice it, and it will absolutely fade into the background, and you will lose, okay? Let me give you a case study, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to give you a formula for how to do it, okay? The case study is a remodeling company. Sat down with the owner of this company. The guy's name was Don Isaacson, and he has a wife that runs a company with him named Lori. Don and Lori Isaacson. They're out of Portland, Oregon. They're a remodeling company, okay? And you know this kind of guy that I'm talking about. He's been in business for 25 years. He's really, really good at what he does. His customers love him. He really does a fantastic job. He's a little bit on the expensive end. In fact, he's quite a bit on the expensive end. He goes after a certain kind of customer, and they just love this dude. He gets a ton of referrals. You know the kind of guy I'm talking about, right? And here's why. He's got a fanatical need to get things done right for his clients. He's basically OCD. He sweats every single little detail like it's crazy, okay? This guy will not let anything pass without, massive inspection. He won't let anything that's not to his exacting standards to pass. So here's the premise for this, guys. Identity. I'm a remodeler with exacting standards who will do everything right. That's what we're going to work off of as a basis. Now, what we don't want to do is just go in and say, I'm a remodeler with exacting standards who will do everything right. It's not believable. Remember, power, precision, passion. So what I did is the same thing that we do with all of our clients. We sat them down and we did what's called an identity consultation. It was over the phone. They're in Oregon. We're in Dallas. We've gone to see face-to-face to do this. And I said, tell me what makes you different and better. Well, high quality. Well, what do you mean high quality? Well, we do everything right. Well, what do you mean you do everything right? Well, we, have high standards. Okay, we're kind of going in circles here. Give me some examples. Give me an example of a time when you had really high standards. And then Lori, Don's wife, chimed in, and she started giving me all kinds of interesting information. She says, well, this guy is almost OCD. He gives out a cell phone number to every single client, and it creates havoc in our family. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, if anything is not exactly 100,000 million% right, she tells people to call, and they call. I said, well, give me an example. She goes, oh, my gosh, try having dinner with this guy. It's a disaster. He gets up and leaves in the middle of dinner like 2-3 times a week because that stupid cell phone's ringing. Really? Interesting. Oh, yeah, well, that's nothing, man. He'll get up in the middle of the night. Sometimes people will call. Really? Who calls in the middle of the night? Did that happen very often? Well, no, it doesn't happen all that often, but it's happened. This guy's gotten up at 2 in the morning and gone off to the job site to look at stuff. Really? Oh, gee, that's nothing. You think that's something? We've come home early from vacation because of this guy. Well, what do you mean you come home early from vacation? Well, we had a job and there was a problem, and the guy on site called, and Don said, hey, we've got to handle this, and it had to be handled by him specifically, so we left our vacation. It was a 1-week vacation. We left 3 days early. We drove home. And I'm still a little bitter about that. And I thought, geez, you guys might need some marriage counseling, not marketing help. She said, no. It's great. It's what I signed up for, and it's what makes Don awesome at what he does, and it's what makes us a living. And his customers, they just love him, really. So he's really particular. Oh, my gosh. She told me stories about driving to different states to find just the right pull knob for kitchen cabinets, and the time when the floor wasn't stained exactly the right color, and the customer said she was happy, but she hesitated when she said it, so Don took a crowbar and started prying the floor up to show that he was disgusted with the very minor detail of the floor not being exactly the right color. And this is the kind of guy that Don is. Now, let's pause for just a minute here. I want to ask you a question. because you might be thinking, well, who cares? I didn't come to this webinar to hear some story about some guy in Oregon. But I want to ask you this. Based on the stories that I've just told you about Don Isaacson, do you kind of get a little bit of a feel for who he is? And if you were a customer that wanted your kitchen or bathroom remodeled, what you could expect when doing business with him? Are you kind of getting a little bit of a feel? And the answer is, yeah, you are, because the details, the power, the precision, and the passion comes out in the details. So let me show you what this looks like, okay? First of all, let me show you his old website. This was his website when I first met him. And you see there's this picture, and he's smiling. He's happy to see you. Welcome to Revive's website for information on your next home improvement remodeling project. If you kind of scan down there, it says the last paragraph, our team of dedicated professionals and craftsmen are committed to the quality and service you deserve, whatever that means. We strive to make your remodeling experience not just satisfactory, but to exceed your expectations. Again, it's Charlie Brown's mother. I said, Don, this is not representative of who you really are. So we rewrote his website, and it looked like this. Persnickety, demanding, hard to please, picky, then I'm the remodeler for you. I'm not the fastest. I am not the cheapest. I am, however, according to my customers, the best. In remodeling, it's all about the details, and I'm obsessed with them. Why? Because I'd rather do things right rather than right now. It takes time to do things properly, and I refuse to compromise quality for speed. I'm not the fastest, and I'm not the cheapest contractor around, but according to my customers, I exceed their expectations with the final result. And then you see on the right-hand side in the middle, my cell phone number is, feel free to interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m., make me leave home early from vacation. My only concern is that your job is 100% perfect. Now, I would ask you, if you were an unindoctrinated person who never heard of this guy and you found this website, does it communicate with words, images, and phrases? You know what? I found a stock photo of a guy making this face that you see on the screen right now, and I sent it to Don. I said, go hire a photographer off Craigslist. It'll cost you $100. Make sure you don't get killed, because there's guys on Craigslist that'll kill you, but get one that won't kill you. And have him take 100 photos of your face trying to make this face, and then send them all to me, and we'll make sure that we get the right one. And this is what we came up with. What does that face communicate? Does it say, hello, hi there, I'm so happy to see you? No. It says, I'm serious. If you're persnickety, demanding, and hard to please, that I'm the guy that's going to get the job done right. Power, precision, and passion. Does this communicate with power, precision, and passion? Who he is, what he does, how he's different, how he's better, and most importantly, what you can expect when doing business with him? And the answer is not maybe. It's yes. Then we take this identity, we put it into advertisements. Are you anxious to get the job done, or are you anxious to get the job done right? We take a little longer, we cost a little more, but wait till you see the final product. I could honestly care less if you have a list of 3 remodelers who are cheaper than me, says Don Isaacson. Home show, persnickety, demanding, hard to please, then I'm the remodeler for you. Now, granted, this might be a little unnerving to stand in front of a picture of your face 8 feet tall at the home show. Please do not take out of this that your identity must include a picture of your face 8 feet tall. Out of all the identities that we put together for all of our clients, I would say probably roughly about a 25%, maybe a third, feature a person in their face and their picture. The other 2/3 don't. It's just not appropriate. Every company's identity is like a fingerprint. It's unique to that specific company, okay? This is what is this thing? This is a flyer that we hand out at home shows. These are on the right hand, that's on the left. On the right hand side, these are banners. They're pop-up banners that you would see at a home show. Ruin my vacation, interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m. Postcards that we send out. I shut down the job site and discussed, ripped out the floor and started over again from scratch. Me and not done exactly right don't get along very well. If I have to choose between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time. This is an email that we send out to confirm appointments. Most remodelers hate dealing with high-maintenance customers who complain about wanting every little thing a certain way. Those are the only kind I get along with. And then it goes on to explain, because he's got higher standards than anybody. So we take your identity, we put it into your postcards, into your flyers, into your home show, into your website, into your advertisements, everything. It's the hub of your entire marketing campaign. If you have no identity, then you don't have a marketing campaign that's going to work the way it should. Now, some people say to me, well, we do all those things. We're just like him. Yeah, but if you don't communicate it, see, people only have to go on what you show them. And if you don't communicate it right, then you lose, okay? It's all about communication. It's not about doing things well. That just goes without saying. You got to do things well. We've got to figure out what those things are, like your shower head, so we can then point at them. So here's what happened. This is a testimonial from Don Isaacson. We just landed our biggest remodeling job ever, $200,000. Not exactly common these days, with a couple who lives out of state who are moving here this summer. We got the job because of the new website. Clients loved it, obviously read it all. They called all of our references. They referred to the gallery and pictures saying they wanted those features and materials in their project. So thank you, MYM, for creating such a powerful tool to help us set apart. And, you know, it's got we had our cartoonist draw this picture of Don getting a big bag of money through his website. That's what happens when you have identity. So let's make this work. Let's go to the definition of identity so that you can review this quickly, and then we're going to go through a quick three-step process. And let me just make sure that all my technical P's and Q's are in a row. They are. Okay. So words, phrases, and images articulated with power, precision, and passion instantly, definitively communicate who you are, how you're different and better, what customers can expect when doing business with you. So we're going to go through the 3 steps, then I'm going to show you a few more examples, and then we'll wrap it on up here, okay? So first of all, how to create a powerful identity. Step number 1, simply you've got to look at what makes your company tick. And here's some questions to get you started. What do you already do that customers like? What do you take particular pride in? What makes you better and different than most of your competitors? What are you really, really good at? What do you really want written on your tombstone? We're not trying to kill you off, but a tombstone is a place, by definition, has very little room, so you have to write something that's tremendously profound. What would we write about your company if we were trying to, you know, summarize it in a very short amount of time? What are you absolutely unwilling to fudge on? Okay, this is where we start. And as we go through the identity consultation with our clients, it takes about an hour and a half to really go through it and beat it out of you, because you're so used to communicating in platitudes that we have to really ask a ton of questions. It's like one of those movies where they take the hot spotlight and they put it on the guy in the interrogation room at the police station. They start asking him all these questions. That's kind of what we do, except for there's no lights and it's done via telephone, and, you know, we're polite about it. But we do have to beat that information out of you sometimes. So that's step 1. What makes you tick? Step number 2, build a case. Build a case. Imagine you were being put on trial and you had to prove that you were blank. Now, here's what goes in the blank. Whatever your shower head is, whatever you want to point at. Imagine Holiday Inn Express was being put on trial and they had to prove that they had the best shower head. Could they do it? Imagine that Don Isaacson at Revive Remodeling was being put on trial and he had to prove that he was the persnickety remodeler. Could he do it? What evidence could you produce to prove it? What stories can you tell to back it up? Can you provide witnesses? You have to be as specific as possible, no platitudes. I mean, think about a court case. You can't walk into a court case and say, well, you know, Your Honor, I know that the witnesses put me at the scene of the crime, but, you know, I wasn't there. I was somewhere else. Well, where were you? I was some other place. Well, where? I was at a friend's house. Well, whose house? It was a friend. You can't be general. You got to be extraordinarily specific. So that's what we want to do, is we want to find out what makes you tick. That's the shower head that we point at, and then we want to build a case to prove it. Then we want to communicate it with power, precision, and passion, okay? And this is really, really key, okay? When you speak with power, people believe you're powerful. When you speak with power, people are drawn to you. When you speak with power, your character and your competency are not questioned. When you speak with power, you stand out from the crowd. You know, when I do live seminars, I show that example with Don Isaacson, the remodeler, and I'll show that ad that says, I could honestly care less if you have a list of 3 remodelers who are cheaper than me. And the response is visceral and palpable. People sort of cringe, and then they laugh, a nervous laughter, and they say, wow, that guy really ran that ad? And I say, yeah, because that's really how he feels. And when he says, if it comes between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time, it's so powerful that people can feel it. And we've got to communicate. When you communicate like that, you stand out from the crowd, because you know what? Nobody else is talking like that. Here's some principles of power talk. I won't go into this in detail, but just to give you a brief overview, you have to be specific, okay? Use absolutes. Always, never, exactly, insist. Here's 2 ways to say something. One way is to say, we do the job right the first time. Here's another way to say the exact same thing. We always insist every job is done exactly right the first time, period. Look at all the absolutes. We always insist every job is done exactly right. It's just a more powerful way to say the same thing. Tell the story if it's appropriate, when it's appropriate. Have a strong opinion. Tell it like it is. Don't mince words. Tell people how it is. They are looking to you for advice and assistance because they don't know. If you mince words, if you use platitudes, you become not powerful. It doesn't work, okay? Use plain English. Don't use inside words that nobody else understands what they mean. Use plain English. Elevate your attitude a little bit. Become the consumer's advocate. Give genuine advice, not bullcrap advice, not self-serving advice, but genuine advice. Confidence isn't cocky, it's matter of fact, it's telling it like it is, and then you find and use what we call juicy words, power words. Now, I'm not going to go into detail, explain how to do that, but this is the formula. What makes you tick, build a case, communicate with power, precision, and passion. Let me show you a couple of examples. I showed you one already. I'm going to show you about 5 more, and then we'll wrap it up here. So this is a company called BH Design and Build, and they wanted people to know with their website that they created beautiful kitchens in this case. And I looked at it and I said, this is great, but you know what? A couple of things. Number one, anybody could put a beautiful picture of a beautiful kitchen on their website. And number two, you don't communicate anything other than we do beautiful work, which is good. That's a good thing to communicate. Don't get me wrong. I said, what really sets you apart? And they said, well, it's our design build process. And I said, you know what? Nobody knows what design build means. Oh, yeah, everybody knows what design build means. No, they don't. Well, our customers are higher end. They're rich people that have lots of money, so they know what design build means. I said, no, they don't. You know what design build means because your whole entire livelihood depends on being a design build company that knows exactly what that means. But people don't know what it means. They can't take that and differentiate it from other kinds of options. So let's take and communicate. So I convinced them, take this beautiful picture, let it come on the website, and then after about 3 or 4 seconds, put a text box. They could click to eliminate it if they don't want to see it, but it looks like this. And we communicate something in addition to just having a beautiful picture, okay? And here's what it says. Our unique under-one-roof design plus build process makes remodeling an efficient, easy, and pleasant experience. When the design and construction are both handled by one firm, all of the process waste, pricing ambiguity, communication gaps, finger pointing, construction delays, cost overruns, and unpleasant surprises just go away. Now, guess what? That summarizes in a very, very short amount of time, precise, passionate, powerful, exactly what design build is. And then there's some text, and people say, well, nobody's going to read all that text. It's not true. People read all the text all the time if they perceive that it's got useful information that will help facilitate their making the best decision possible. Here's a company called Freelight. It's owned by a guy named Chip Marvin. I talked to him and I said, Chip, what makes you guys great? And as I was talking to Chip, I got the distinct feeling that this was a guy that was a hippie left over from the 60s and 70s. Guy was super laid back, super nice guy, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but just a real easy sense of being and just really easy to talk to. And he said, hey, man, you know, we're just easy to do business with. We don't do any high-pressure sales. We don't force people. You know, it's just not our style. So we looked at his website, and he said, look, I don't want to change the way my website looks because we spent a lot of time, effort, and money to build this look. I said, are you open to integrating an identity? He said, yeah. So I want you to see. This is the before. I'm going to show you the after, and the after is going to look almost exactly the same, but it's going to have the identity integrated. Here it is. Okay, look, before, after. The after looks about the same, but let's read down here what it says. I'm going to blow it up so you can see it. Introducing the easy, no hassle, no pressure way to buy windows in skylights in Phoenix. We find out what you want, make recommendations, then step back and let you decide. After 30 years in this business, we've learned a few things about what people like and don't like about buying windows, doors, and skylights. High pressure and long drawn-out sales pitches are out. An open and honest discussion about what you want and need is in. That's why we've adopted the free and easy approach to selling windows. We conduct a quick needs analysis, show you the product or products that would be the best fit, give you an easy quote, then we step back and let you make a decision. We'll be honored to add you to our list of 20,000 happy customers. But if, for whatever reason, you decide to wait or buy from someone else, that's okay too. Our only concern is that you get the right product at the right price with no hassles. Boom. Identity. Score one MYM. Renewal by Anderson affiliate in the Dallas market. Window replacement in Dallas-Fort Worth. In Farmers Branch, Texas, window replacement services by Renewal by Anderson can be a great investment for any house. Are your windows worn, old, or dated? Are they cracked or damaged? This is not an identity. This is just a description of problems that people have, and they know they have those problems. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on this website looking. Okay? You see how this works? There's nothing that sets this company apart, nothing that is distinctive, nothing that helps you understand how and why. as I discussed it with Renewal by Andersen, I found out that their windows were quite impressive. Here's what we came up with. Now, at the top of this is a slider. That means that it slides and another picture with another headline comes on it. But this one says maintenance free. Our super strong Fibrex windows never warp, never peel, and never need painting. And then below that, this is what we call the static part of the website. And the static part of the website says most window companies claim they've got the best windows. We unapologetically claim to offer the world's only perfect window. We've taken all the best parts from all the top windows, eliminated everything that isn't 1,000% optimal, and engineered the only window that promises and delivers perfection. The beauty and strength of wood without the high maintenance, the low maintenance of vinyl without the warping and color limitations, the strength of fiberglass that can be made in any shape, even colors. Now, there's a lot of things going on here that are very, very strong and powerful. The words, the ideas, the concepts. There's also something called a headline funnel that guides the eyeball from where we want it to go broad to more narrow, gives all the information. At the right-hand side, it says dare to compare, and it gives the different points that we want to talk about in terms of more efficient, longest lasting, etc. Okay? So this is fantastic. Here's a company called Good Guy Construction. They've got a very typical looking website. It's got a picture of, you know, the various things they do. This is a slider, so it says covered porches, and the next one maybe says kitchens, etc. Good Guy Construction. Welcome. Good Guy Construction has been in Lincoln since 1992, a remodeling company offering design and building services for both residential and commercial clients, blah, 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 blah. Charlie Brown's mother, wah, wah, wah. This doesn't say anything. Who are you? How are you different? How are you better? Why should I do business with you? What can I expect when I do business with you? And as I talked to the owner, Scott Good, I found out that they do things in a tremendously different way. Let's take a look. At the top, home of the no games, no gimmicks, no gotchas, price quote guarantee. All inclusive. Our bids include everything. No gotchas after we get started. That again is a slider. It will slide 4 times to different headlines and photos. Below that, Good Guys Construction isn't just a name. It's who we are, how we think, what we do, and an ironclad promise that you'll be treated right. No games, no gimmicks, no gotchas. We refuse to compromise quality or ethics to land a job or pad our profits. We offer fair, honest prices on premium caliber interior and exterior remodeling. And then in the middle it says what to expect from Good Guys, and it gives more information. Guys, let me tell you something. This is power. This is precision. This is passion. This is identity. Okay? Now, I showed you this earlier. This is our last example before we wrap up. Now, remember, stay with me. I'm going to give you a special offer. If you're interested in doing business with MYM, we can help you create an identity. I'm also going to give away the book at the end, and there's one more poll. So stay with me for just a few more minutes, but this is the last case study. This is the company that I showed you earlier. No identity in this home show presentation at all. Now, the company is called Lone Star Property Solutions, and I sat down with the owner. Her name is Kathy Fleck, super, super nice lady, and I found out very quickly that her whole deal is that she is first and foremost a designer. So she's all about design, things looking fantastic, and she has this uncanny ability to reach into somebody's brain and to pull out what it is they're looking for, give them a bunch of ideas, and help them to create exactly what they had in mind. It's really special, this ability that she has to get people what they want and to take the picture in their brain and to create it in reality. Well, if you look at her home show booth, it's a disaster. I mean, it looks like a third-grade science project gone bad. It's terrible. This is not an accurate representation of who this company is and what you can expect. This was their trifold brochure that they used to use. Now, on the right-hand side, the picture of the guy smiling, that's the first panel of this brochure that you would see. Okay? It says, from complete remodels to special projects and handyman jobs, we've got you covered. And as you open it up, it's got our mission. We're convenient, timely communication, reliable, thorough, guarantee, and it all just sounds so expected. It's a bunch of platitudes. And then there's a few testimonials on the back. This is the inside of the trifold brochure. It's got a big, beautiful picture, but it's got these little pictures down here that people have to sort of interpret what they are, and then a list of things that they do. Okay? Well, I talked to her. We went through the identity consultation, and here's what we came up with. This is the revised website. Most remodelers are order takers. They say, tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. I'll guide you through an exhilarating brainstorming session where I'll pick your brain, throw out tons of ideas, show you dozens of materials, and help you discover what you really want. From the first meeting to the final walkthrough, my main concern is that you'll love the end result. And then it says in the text, if you're like many of my clients, this may be the first time you've ever tackled a significant remodeling project. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that's true. Maybe you're second. Suffice it to say, you're going to need guidance in putting the project together, pulling the project together. So when you sit down with a remodeler who asks you what you want, it's not necessarily easy to say. Sure, you've looked at magazines for ideas, surfed the web, and kept your eyes open while shopping at Lowe's, but how can you really know if you even know what's available? And chances are the typical remodeler won't be much help. What you need is a professional remodeler with design expertise and a woman's touch to guide you through the process, a woman who's designed to remodel hundreds of homes over the years, from two-bedroom cottages to high-end homes and everything in between, and it goes on. It explains who she is, what you can expect when doing business with her, how she's different. Do you see how this works? It's not that difficult in concept. Now, actually doing it, it's a little bit harder to pull off. We rewrote the brochure. On the right-hand side, it now says, remodeling that makes you say, wow. We'll pick your brain, infuse it with ideas, and help you discover exactly what you want. The Lone Star advantages, talk to the owner, fixed prices, change orders, easy financing, OCD when it comes to detail. The list of things is on the back of the brochure, but now when you open it up, here's what you see. From the first meeting to the final walkthrough, my main concern is that you'll love the end result. We specialize in even better than I imagined, and it has the same kind of text that was on the website. See how it maintains the same look and feel as the original brochure, but now it has identity. You can create a brochure. Anybody can create a brochure, but can you create one that will convert lookers into buyers? And then we put it into their home show stuff. Remodeling. We'll pick your brain, infuse it with ideas, help you discover exactly what you want. We specialize in even better than I imagined. On the left-hand side, let us help you unleash your inner design genius. Most remodelers are order takers. We are dream makers. It communicates with power. It communicates with precision. It communicates with passion. This is the identity. Okay? Are we on the same page here? We put it into this huge flyer that we hand out at home shows, and it's got the same kind of thing. I won't go into detail about what this is, but suffice it to say, it's very similar. We put together a gift card that they use for discounts to help people get a better deal. You know, it's just a different version of giving a discount. Let us help you unleash your inner design genius. These things all work together in concert. Everything's branded. Everything's got identity. It all works fabulously. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to announce the winner in just a minute, so stick around. You might have a chance to win. But meanwhile, let me tell you how you can do business with Monopolize Your Marketplace, how we can help you actually get this identity stuff into your business, okay? So first of all, we have a foundational marketing that you have to have in order to operate. Everything starts with the identity. Everything starts with the identity. That probably shouldn't be much of a shock to you after today's webinar. Creating a professional identity-based website, then creating a professional identity-based website that converts prospects into customers. So we take the identity. The very first thing we've got to do is put it into your website. The reason is that all marketing leads to the website. All customers come through the website. It's the most critical place to put it. Then driving traffic to that site via organic and paid search, and using mailing and advertising to grow from there, whether it be home shows or newspaper, radio, TV, whatever kind of advertising, mailers. Then we drive traffic to the website. We drive traffic to you, and it's all identity-based, okay? All of this is available for a low monthly payment. It's about $500 a month, okay, just to kind of give you an idea. We have a bundle called the Monopolize Bundle. We've taken all of our services that are the most critical, we've put them into a bundle, and we've made it available at a very attractive price. So in the Monopolize Bundle, we create the identity, we write all the content for your website up to 25 pages, which is enough for most of our clients. We professionally build the website so that it looks beautiful and it looks outstanding. We'll do all of your SEO. We'll set it up. We'll do the monthly maintenance for 2 years. And if you're saying to yourself, well, we already have somebody that does our SEO, let me ask you this. Is the company that does your SEO, are they a marketing company that understands remodeling? Because if they're not, there's challenges and issues there, okay? There's going to be conversionability issues. We'll create a mobile version of your website. We'll do unlimited updates of your website for 2 years. We'll manage your pay-per-click marketing. And some of you are saying, well, we've tried pay-per-click and it doesn't work. Let me suggest to you that the reason your pay-per-click doesn't work is because your website is not converting like it should, primarily because of lack of identity, okay? We'll put together pre-positioning materials, emails, brochures, contractor standards guide. Ongoing webinar training is also available in the Monopolize Bundle, 5 webinars per month. The value of the bundle is $51,000. but we'll do it for a lot less than that, okay? So you can replace everything. It costs $2,999 down, $499 a month. Ask yourself these questions. How clear is your identity in your current marketing right now? How many web-based leads are you generating a month? How much are you spending on stuff that doesn't work? How many how many deals per month would you need for this to be a good investment? $499 a month. The answer is it's ridiculous. It's insanely inexpensive. And let me tell you something, that's why we've priced it this way. 2 years ago when we started offering marketing fulfillment services to remodelers, the number one thing that we sat down as a team and decided to do is it has to be affordable. If it's not affordable, most of the marketplace will miss because you can't afford, most of you, $17,000 cash out of pocket. And here's the true facts. We lose money on this for about the first 8 to 10 months. And then over the course of the rest of the agreement, that's when we actually break even and then make money. But we do this because we know that it's the way that you can actually afford it, okay? We also have a kitchen sink bundle that includes all the monopolized bundle items that I just talked about: identity, website, web content, web updates, mobile website, SEO. But it also includes extra website pages, online reviews for up to 2 years, home show package. We'll put that all together for the home show like you saw for Lone Star, proximity marketing package, past prospect hopper. This is stuff that Tim had talked about, reaching out to your past customers, reaching out to your past prospects, okay? New movers package, radio advertising, ad writing, anything that you need is included in the kitchen sink bundle. We'll also create a logo if you need that. All of this is available for $3,999 down and $1,199 a month, okay? So here's what you need to do. Go to our website at mymonline.com. You can click on the Remodeler tab that's on the right-hand side and then choose Bonus Bundles. You will come to this page, and you will see at the bottom of the page the Monopolized Bundle and the Kitchen Sink Bundle. You can see exactly what's included. You can see exactly what the value is. You can see exactly how much it costs, okay?